A few weeks ago, my husband and I, we announced on our social media that we are expecting our first child. And I asked if you have any questions and you sent me some, so I decided to make a little bit more in-depth YouTube video and answer them all here. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, I guess I'm gonna give you a quick update. So I'm currently 23 weeks pregnant. I'm due in October, and we do know that we are expecting a baby boy, and well, here he is. Have a look yourselves. Surprisingly, I'm loving the baby bump. Like I love being pregnant so far. Oh my goodness, it's been such a wonderful journey with some bumps along the road, but we'll get there later. We do have a name, but we're not gonna share it until his grand arrival. I'm gonna keep some, mystery between us. And yeah, I guess we can get started. But before we do, I also wanted to say a few things as a disclaimer. So I am making this video as an individual, as a woman, as a person, and I'm putting my professional hat to the side for now. This is not teaching video, I'm not giving advice, I don't want to sound too preachy because I am pro-choice. And I believe that deciding whether to have children or how to raise them, it is so deeply personal and individual. And I want to leave as much room as possible for you to decide what's best for you. So again, this is not professional. I do believe that your best interest serves my best interest. So I want you to feel comfortable with your decisions and your choices, and simply you do you and be happy. And if you're happy, then you're gonna be better to me and vice versa. So here's my journey and what is making me really, really happy right now. Okay, question number one, why did you want a baby? I could give you a short version and just say that my soul was calling for it and leaving at that. But I'm gonna give you the extended version of this. I'm 32 years old, and by the time I'm gonna give birth, I'm gonna be 33, so I am a little bit older. And I spent the whole decade in my 20s exploring the world, moving from country to country, being self-obsessed, self-absorbed, living the life the way I wanted to live it. And I never wanted to have children. There was a period where I thought I would never have them. At the same time, I spent the whole decade in therapy, and I still am in therapy, just really working on myself and trying to understand how I was conditioned, how generational trauma was passed on to me, what kind of coping and defense mechanisms I developed, and how it affected my worldview. I feel like this work prepared me for this next chapter of my life, because something started to shift about 2.5 years ago, around the same time when the pandemic started. That's also when my husband's and I kind of careers started to blossom. We became, both of us, more successful and also clear of what we want from life. And we started having these conversations, and to have a child was the most conscious, thought through, talked through decision that I and we ever made in our lives. For me, the purpose of life is evolving, growing and expanding as a human being. And I really want to know and learn how to love with no attachment, how allow myself to be in my authentic way of being instead of allowing my ego to run the show and control everything. How to have a child and not possess him. How to let go of my expectations and my attachments or my ideas of how things should be. And I'm already doing this because of my profession with my clients, so I'm kind of familiar with it as well. But I feel like with kids, that's just a different level and a different kind of depth. And my friend calls these types of people blue whales because we dive deep. And for me, this is what my soul wants. I feel like this is my purpose in life. That's what I came here to do, because I know that I'm not interested in so many other things. My soul, is not interested in money and achieving and fame and building massive businesses, or Like, that's not my jam. My interest from morning to evening, I just want to dive deep and go deeper. And kids is exactly what takes you to this next level, because these tiny humans, these little gurus, how I call them, they're gonna teach you everything that you need to know about yourself. All your triggers, all your resentments, all the shit that you haven't worked through, they're gonna show it to you ruthlessly. And they're gonna invite you to stay in the present moment and to stay with this discomfort. So I am ready for this next chapter of my life, and I am ready for these deeper lessons. And also, a part of me is very curious and excited to see, what does it feel and look like to raise a child from this conscious and aware place when you're not in your generational trauma, not in those circles, when you're not making everything your kid's fault, where you're not, dumping your ego onto them, when you're not controlling. Like, I'm just curious to see, how does conscious parenting look like and what kind of relationship it creates. Okay, moving on to the question number 2. Are you worried passing some trauma onto your kids? I constantly think about this. Yes and no. I know that I'm not a perfect human being, and I know that there are so many unconscious parts of me that I'm not aware of, and that's inevitable. I will pass it on to my child. It is what it is. So I'm already learning to detach myself even from this idea of being a perfect mother. Will I screw up? Yes, again and again. But the most important part for me is that I do the repair, meaning that I apologize, I own my shit, I have conversations with him, I make sure that he's okay, and that's it. Like, that's the goal, to do the repair. Always. And also, I feel like I have enough of knowledge about psychology, child's developmental stages, about nervous system, about mental health in general. So I just want to pass all these tools and create this environment where he can grow up to be an independent person, so that he can rely on his inner resources. And if I manage to do that, then he doesn't need me to be, or his dad, to be perfect, because he will have his own inner strength and connection to his essence. Will I pass traumas? Yes. My goal is that he is capable of dealing with it on his own in the future. Number 3. Do you have any fears from other experiences, like fearing your emotions, quality of life changing, etc.? I am terrified of giving birth. That's one thing I haven't really found my peace with. I don't know, just having this intense physical experience. I'm hoping for a vaginal birth, of course, with epidural, I think. We'll see, but I think I'm leaning towards that option. And just in general, experiencing all these intense everything, being exposed in front of all these people in the hospital. I don't like hospitals in the first place, so that's just... And then also, you go into this place just as a woman, as a couple, and it's almost like a birth canal. You are being birthed into the mother as well. You come out of the hospital as a mother with this new title and new responsibilities. I don't know, it's just... I need to find my peace with that. Anything after that, sure, we talked about and, had these conversations. What if there's something with his health? Like, he has some kind of physical disability. Or what if he has different abilities, like he's autistic? I wouldn't say that's worrying me, but that's definitely something that we thought and talked about and considered. There's always an option. Or, I'm self-employed, so of course if I don't work, I don't get paid. So our financial situation will change. But everything is, I have this saying that I heard on Grey's Anatomy, we cross that bridge when we get there. So that's how I feel like. Like right now, I'm just enjoying this moment, I'm staying present, and we'll figure out the rest once we get there. For me, the most important part is to have connection and attunement to my child. If I have that, that's it. The rest, we'll figure it out because it is what it is. I won't be able to change it anyways. So I'm just ready to embrace this radical acceptance and just focus on the connection. All right, number 4, if it's not too personal, how long have you tried for a baby? Not so personal and not that long. We were very, very lucky. So just to give you timeline, I went to see a gynecologist last year in October to see if everything's okay and get her approval and green light. And I'm giving birth in October, so it's only been a few months. Again, I know how lucky we are. Yet at the same time, for us, we decided that we're gonna try for a year. And if that doesn't happen, we don't want IVFs and we don't want the surrogacy. We would adopt. Adoption was always something that we considered, and I feel like I don't need to give birth in order to feel like I'm a mother. So we felt very relaxed and very calm, and we trusted the process. There was no pressure, we weren't obsessed about it, and we just, when we made the decision to have a family, that was it. We knew that it's going to happen one way or another. And also, at the same time, we made this plan and we said, okay, if we don't get pregnant, that's fine. In summertime, we're gonna go to Japan because we both really wanted to travel and visit Japan for the longest time. Well, now I guess we're going as a family. So we had something else to look forward to, and we were just relaxed in love. We had a good time and it happened. Question number 5. How are you feeling? How's the pregnancy so far? You guys, really good. I know I'm very lucky, but okay, well, the first trimester, that was definitely a challenge. And I've heard someone describe the first trimester as like you're in a survival mode. It felt at times like this, like I was just trying to get through the day. In terms of nauseousness and food, I was nauseous, but I wasn't sick. Like I did not puke, not even once, so that was awesome. But eating was definitely hard. Like everything would make me sick, but I would be so hungry. I was starving and I had no appetite for anything. I drank lots of lemon water, ate lots of oranges. The only one crazy craving was me eating tomatoes and then drinking tomato juice at the same time. So not that crazy, but you know, you don't really do that every single day. The thirst during your pregnancy, oh my God, it's almost like it feels like I haven't had a drop of water in days. That's how I feel majority of time. So I have this is one of the best purchases, this glass with a straw. It's next to me 24/7. During the first trimester, my stomach was rumbling and making loud noises all the time. And it wasn't because of food or digestion, it was just things shifting, moving around. So it was very awkward during my sessions with clients, coaching therapeutic sessions, especially when moments like there's stillness and we're quiet and my stomach is so loud. And there's like, they definitely heard it and I couldn't do anything about it. So, oh well, I was exhausted the whole time. Like, I think that was more like obvious for me than just the food. I had no energy and I did not need as much sleep. Like I wouldn't really sleep or nap, but I was just in my bed all the time. I could not move. I was that tired most of the time. But then as soon as the second trimester started, it was like something was lifted off of me and I had my energy, it was back again. And during the first trimester, I definitely gained some weight because I was not moving. And even now, like I know that I gained more weight than just my belly and I'm fine with it and embracing, I'm allowing myself to crave for things right now and I'm eating. And something happened also in the second trimester where my hormones kicked in and I was so happy for about a month. I cannot describe it. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life. I mean, obviously I'm still very happy and excited, but with additional hormones, like that was just like, ooh, I was on drugs for about a month, like happy pills, you know? So that felt really nice. But yeah, now I'm feeling really good as well. I have some back pains, but I'm seeing physiotherapists, I'm working on it, trying to move as much as I can to, you know, keep myself and this baby active, have the oxygen, and yeah, so far so good. Thanks for asking. Next one, are you planning on raising your child using specific principles, for example, Montessori? And a little hug emoji. Hugs back. Not really. You know, I am watching some TikToks on gentle parenting and Montessori as well. I think I have a book about Montessori, so it's not like I'm avoiding it. I definitely don't want to take my kids to public kindergarten, you know, the usual one, because in my eyes they focus too much on achievement and academics. I definitely want to embrace something alternative, especially in the first 5 years. In the first 5 years, my priority with the child is just playtime, lazy time, that's it, so they can connect to themselves. And then later in life, you know, we can talk about academics and something else. But yeah, so I am choosing the alternative route. But in terms of me raising my child, like, sure, I'll take some tips on how to teach them how to cook when they're 2, you know, because that's what they're doing right now. Have you seen those kids on TikTok? They're 2, 3 years old and they're making their own meals, like, so that's cool. But my principle and my idea is that I want to stay present and connected to my child, and I want to attune to their authentic and unique needs right now. I don't want to attach myself to teaching. I want to attach myself to my child. So that's my approach. Present, conscious parenting. And for that, I have a recommendation if anyone wants or needs. The Conscious Parent, that's the book I'm reading, but Dr. Shefali's work in general, like, I adore her as a woman, as a teacher, as a psychologist. And this book and her teachings, you don't need to be a parent, you don't need to want to have children in the future. It's for everyone. I've been following her for years, even before I started thinking about kids. So basically the idea is that you parent yourself first, your inner child, and only then you can think of or, you know, start parenting anyone else. So the conscious parenting, that's my way. And the idea is like, if you're not okay, your kid's not gonna be okay. And if your kid's is not okay, that's on you. That's your responsibility. You did it. You lost the connection somewhere. You lost the natural flow. So that's my approach, the conscious parenting. So my goal is that I'm present, that I'm attuned, and that I provide safe environment for them. And all those other teachings, I might use them as a tool, but that won't be my main approach. And last but not least, how did you know and how was it telling your friends and family? So on the day that we found out, it was February, it was raining, it was windy, it was miserable, and I felt miserable. I was in such bad mood, I was bloated, I was kind of nauseous, but not really. I was just yucky, just not feeling good, and I decided to go for a walk just to kind of walk off my mood. And I was walking through the pharmacy and I thought, okay, well, we are trying, so I'm just gonna get tests just in case to have them in the house. And I was like almost doing it automatically without thinking about it too much. I took the test and it was on the floor. I was still buttoning up my jeans and I already saw 2 lines. And I was so naive, almost dumb. It did not register in my brain. It's like, this test is broken, I gotta buy another one. It's incorrect. So even though we're trying it, like, I know, but still, it did not register. So I went to the pharmacy, I got the other test, and then I was like, okay, this is happening. So later that evening, I told Justus once he got back from work, and his face when I told him, he was the most beautiful in that moment that I've ever seen him in my life, and I fell in love 100 times more just in those few seconds. It was the best, and obviously we were over the moon. And then telling everybody else had a similar reaction than I did, just because they knew that we are not, you know, we didn't announce to everyone, oh, I'm gonna start, you know, to have a baby. So nobody expected, and I'm so grateful. My family and friends, my mother-in-law and everybody, nobody ever pressured us to have kids. They respected our decision and they just assumed that we would never. So when we started telling people, they were like, what? No, you guys don't want kids. But like, no, what? You? Oh my God. So we had many kind of slow motion reactions and disbeliefs. So that was very fun. But yeah, I feel surrounded by love and embraced by it, and everyone's really happy. My mom, oh my goodness, my baby is pretty much fully dressed until he's 5 or older. I don't know. She's buying all the stuff, all the clothes, which is amazing. I feel very lucky that currently I still live in Lithuania and I get to share this experience with my parents. And yeah, it feels really good. And I guess I'm kind of wrapping up as well. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to this community as well, all the followers from Instagram and YouTube and TikTok a little bit as well. And just say that I feel all the love that you're sharing with me, and my child, my son, is receiving all the love as well. And just know that you are already a part of this rippling effect, and you are a part of raising a different kind of new generation with love, with compassion, with care. So thank you so much for being a part of my journey and this kid's journey. I feel very grateful. And also thank you so much for sending your questions, because they made me think. So you are expanding my consciousness as well, and I hope that this video is giving you something as well in return. So thank you so much. And yeah, I guess I'll end it here. If you have more questions or requests, leave me a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.